Hello there. I think it's a little bit unfair, I think up a lot of these good ideas. That's why I don't share much. I share a little bit just to see if people are good or not, if they're worth keeping or. But like my idea for revolutionising pi, instead of 3.1428 whatever, there should be 4. I mean, that's not for all the calculations. That's just for you'd have to change the actual calculation to pi r and all that a little bit too, because it's a little bit off as well. But yeah, it just seems a bit unfair. I think up these good ideas and I don't get any credit, and someone else walks off with it because they've copied my post. I mean, is that what these are for? Just to steal everything? I know I've said it before, but just because I'm not rich, you shouldn't just steal from people still, Anyway, they probably still will. They'll still keep stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing, It happens to me some lifetimes where all the stuff I've done gets stolen, It's just because I'm around shitheads, really, who don't appreciate me, so it's not a reflection on people I know. It's just reflections on people out there who just are rotten people, really. They could do the right thing and they don't. So I win, and the information gets out there, and those people suffer and die, and I get the accolades in the end. So anyway, it's always a win-win for me, but I just don't want it to be anything bad for other people, and they do the wrong thing, they're going to suffer. So it could be much better for me and then good for them as well, But I don't know why they do that, steal stuff, I don't do that. I just think up my own stuff, I know people are probably wondering, what's this Superman shit? Why are you talking about that? You don't look like Superman. Why do you think you're Peter Pan? Why do you think you're all these things? And it's just my culture, really. I just like talking about it. That's the only answer. Stuff I've grown up with. Even as a little boy, we had Superman dolls and He-Man. One thing I don't talk much about is G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. I love the feeling I used to get from it. But at the same time, I didn't want to be an army man because I didn't want to shoot people. So I like guns. I didn't like shooting things. I didn't like killing anything. So I was always in a bit of a funny sort of spot with G.I. Joe. Like, I loved the gung-ho, macho muscles and everything, but I didn't want to be like that. I just wanted to be a soft, gentle gentleman. I didn't want to get shot to death, and it's like I would end up being some sort of kickboxer or a street fighter or some kind of muscle bloke, and ended up with brain damage, from getting punched in the head too much. I didn't want to live like that. So I sort of went through mental health early, so I wouldn't have to go through retirement. I could live through my retirement and just keep living on. So I think I did everything right in the end, for myself, for my goals. My goals are to try and live on forever. It's just what I want to do. So, I mean, it does help having a partner and children. It makes the whole journey more pleasant and more beautiful. But I still do it, with or without that. But it just takes another person's commitment to do that other part. So they have to want to commit to the long term, forever. So getting the homework done tonight. It's over there, getting all the calculations done. I handed in an assignment tonight, so I'm pretty happy. I've got my second one going. I'm starting on my third, just so I've got the ball rolling. I might actually finish off these 2 tonight and then start the fourth one. So I haven't started the fourth one yet. I've basically done the other 2. I couldn't do the labs in class. I thought I did them. I'll put the notes somewhere, I don't know where, but I'm going to have to simulate them, I think, with the software. So I think that's all right. But if it's not, well, it's not. She'll tell me to do it again or something. So yeah, a few assignments this week. Got one at the end of next week and one midweek after that. So 2 assignments there. 1 test during the week. I've got to resit. I've already done it, actually. I'm just going to hand it in then. Hopefully I've done all that right. I could go over it again. I just had 3 questions wrong I had to fix up. The only probably blight on my whole schooling so far is just this test we had to sit for microcontrollers. And I thought I'd studied enough, but no, I hadn't done half as much as I should have, I think. I should have been doing it every night, but I get home and I'm too exhausted and all the noise here, I just can't concentrate. But it seems a bit better tonight. It's died down a bit, but I still feel stressed out from all it. I got this prank phone call before and I just feel upset from it. And I don't know why people call me and send pictures of girls and stuff and just prank, make fun of you because you're single or whatever they're trying to do, It's like, just leave us alone, just let us live our lives, Why do they do that? Why do they get out of poking fun at people? Yeah, so all that Superman stuff, just my culture, stuff I've grown up with. I don't believe in the stories that much. I believe in the characters and the future, and I think the stories are overused, overworked. All the violent ones, I don't believe in a violent future like that. I think it's more going to be more like the way it is, just peaceful and nice. There might be some moments, Superman's called upon, might be a meteor or maybe some spaceship crashes to Earth or something you might have to help with. But look, people live and die. It's not always the fate of people to survive. Sometimes people are not nice people and they end up dead. So Superman can't save those that aren't worthy to save. So he saves himself and he saves the people he loves and he saves the people that love him. And that's basically the rule of thumb. Really, if you don't love him, he's not going to go out of his way to help you. I mean, he'd be all over the planet, fucking day and night, just never ending, trying to rescue people from eating poisonous plants or anything, bitten by a snake. He can't do everything, can he? He can't just be all on the move, but he's just there for the big effort, the big problems that might arise. Maybe some meteors there or some giant thing. I don't think he's going to rescue every plane that might crash, but he's just there for the big moments, really. The rest of the time he's just going to be himself and go to the shops, do his shopping. Probably won't need a car. He'll fly in, grab his shopping, fly home, be able to carry it in a backpack or something. He's not there to just constantly battle the underworld and fight zombies and, it's just ridiculous, It's just there for a peaceful world, really. So the more support I get, the better for that. The more love and more happiness and I receive it, the more it filters out for the rest of the world. They have a better time of it, So I try and get that message out there. I don't know if it ever goes out there. People just probably think it's made up, but I believe in the future. I can see it. Like I see the future very, very clearly, and I see where I've been and how things have come true, and I can see the future, how Superman might come to exist. So it's just a heads up, really, just so you know to expect him in the next probably 1,000 years, So just a heads up, he'll probably come in about 1,000 years. So or sooner. I don't think anywhere past 1,000 years. It'll take within that time frame. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 1,000 years, somewhere within there. So that's just what I think. Based on other things I've experienced. I think his spirit's ready, his soul's probably ready, but his body, I haven't been loved enough. He's not going to come till I'm loved. So, you might think that's some kind of blackmail, or people will say, "Oh, we don't want your love. We don't want Superman." Then it's like, yeah, but you'll miss out on everything. Then you'll be dead. If you don't have your savior. So it's up to you. It's up to you. It's not blackmail. It's just a peaceful offering. It's like going out and saying, "Do you want a drink?" It's like saying, "Do you want Superman?" It's the same sort of thing. It's like, do you want to hang out? Do you want to be Superman's friend or girlfriend or buddy or whatever? He's not going to put people's trucks up, twisted around a lightning pole, power pole just for spilling beer on him or something. It's ridiculous. You go wash it off. He doesn't need to bully people in pubs and stuff. So I don't know where they get these ideas. Just I think it goes back to that original scene, doesn't it, where he cracks the shits and throws the guy along the bench. I suppose it could happen, but I don't think he'd wreck a whole truck up a power pole. That's just vandalism. It's against Superman's beliefs. So that whole new age, new shift towards that more violent sort of callous Superman is a bit. I don't really like that, personally, but yeah, it's just my culture I grew up with. Like I say, that's why I talk about it a bit, and I don't get much response because I'm probably with the wrong audience. So that's all. I just haven't made the effort to go and find people because ultimately I'm not really that interested in talking about it all. I just crosses my mind when I'm a bit bored. I have a few moments. I do a little video. Someone might be interested, or it's not always about that. It's about connecting the dots in my life and why things happen and why this happened to me, why I took that Superman trip at that rave party and I had an enlightenment and what that meant. And, it's not just Superman, it may be Spider-Man, might be some other character. I'm just thinking about the popular characters, but I think of all sorts of ones that don't even exist in the media. So I'm just saying those sort of ones because they're the ones you know about, and the other ones I don't want known anyway. So all the things I dream of being one day. So, and as a grub, I dreamt of being a human being like I am today. So, and I'm proud of that person that I've become. So, one day I dream of being a god or a Superman. I'll be proud of that too, the person I was and where I came from. And to him, I'll just be a little grub. This Evan will just be this little grub wriggling around his bed, and Superman by then with this beautiful, majestic guy with a huge cape and everything, huge gown, and he'll wear the world like a crown on his head and just walk around supreme. It's just nothing greater than Superman, really. He's probably the peak of humanity, and then probably turn to something else, something magical. The magic will erupt from his world, and probably turn to something like Santa Claus or some other sort of God-related figurehead of some sort. Sort of what happens with me. This life I wanted to understand a bit more. Just cold hard reality. Just woke up to that and sort of understanding. Just the more down to earth factors of life, nature, stuff I hadn't explored too much. Just I existed in it but didn't really understand it too much. I sort of understand it more now. So, excuse me. And technology is interesting still. I'm studying it at the moment, so got some ideas. My non-binary computer's coming along. I have changed it somewhat. The whole idea of it. It's I'll share it with you. I'll share a little bit because I feel confident I'll still be able to do it. And it's more of sort of an interface really for Windows now. I don't think I'll bother with Mac. I'll just focus on Windows. And it's more just an interface to sort of turn Windows into something more that I'd like to use. So, it's nothing really that invasive. It's not going to change anything for the competition or the Windows will be Windows. You'll still have to buy the package of Windows to work my little bit of software. My little thing of hardware. So it's this little box or something that sort of turns Windows into something I want to use. So more. I enjoy Windows to some degree, but it's a bit clunky, a bit, it's just not that enjoyable for me. Like things don't work too well, and I think I'd like to turn it into something I'd like to sort of use more. And so that's my focus, just that and a few other projects. And people have probably done this sort of thing a million times, different ways, whether it's a non-binary computer or some other thing. However you want to package it, I don't think I'll sell it. It'll just be something I'll make at home, for myself. I'll just see how I go. I'll test it out, and if I find it's worth selling, and I have the legal rights and everything to do it, I'll maybe just call it a little Windows interface or something. There's probably people build stuff like this every day. It's nothing that fantastical, but Yeah, that's why I'm studying all this stuff to get a better handle on the hardware and the binary stuff and hex and all that stuff. Because there's binary, then there's hexadecimal, and there's decimal, and there's probably other ones too. Grey code and machine language, and there's all these things you've got to learn about. There's probably other ones too I'm sort of familiar with a little bit, which I won't mention. But I heard years ago you got to have a turnkey to work in this sort of industry. Like, they call it a turnkey, where you have the license or the rights to actually reverse engineer Windows and sort of understand and build things for yourself. And I'm not sure how to get a turnkey, or if it's necessary, or whether you can just do an open source sort of thing. Or I'm sort of really, very, very quite an amateur in this sort of field of going from being an end user into more of a programmer. So people probably scoff and say you can't even, pass a test, on a basic microprocessor at Atmel AVR, sort of whatever it is. And I'm like, yeah, well, I've just done one term. Some guys have been doing this for 30 years with pressure on them to get the work done. I'm just chilled out, just doing whatever. So, but that's my style. I'm not here to create something that's going to stress people out. And I think the work you put in, it's like thinking about, McDonald's hamburgers. You go in there and you get a hamburger. It used to be more like it a few years ago, when everything was under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Pump the food out, and you'd get it. You could taste that stress in the food. It was like stressed food. You're just like, oh, it makes you sick. So I'd always thought about that sort of McDonald's, and KFC and all this fast food. They're pumping out this fast food, and you got to eat it quick, and you sort of feel sick afterwards. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have had that. So I think everyone says that at some stage. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. Didn't really feel like it, but sort of felt compelled. But it's not like a nice home cooked meal. It's been cooking all day on the stove in the cottage, and you had the water boiling on the stove in the big pot, and everything's nice and homely, and sort of that's the way to be. I think for me, that's what I grew up with. So this sort of cold, hard, compressed sort of society environment doesn't really suit me too much. I don't think of the future as being more compressed and hard, and I think it is more floral, and I say the future is more sort of expressive and expressing the world differently with magic and exuberance and love, and not so much cold, hard surfaces, and this kind of Asian attitude of boxing yourself into a prison, almost. You see some of these houses are, they're a metre off the ground, and people shuffling through tunnels. And why do people want to do this to themselves? Well, no wonder they want to get out there and come over here and flood over here. But just this whole attitude of filling the world up with, population, and just for the sake of population, and just taking over like a virus, just to live like that. Why would you want to live in a little box and just box yourself in and have too many kids? And just, that's what I like about white people in Australia. We spread out, and we don't overuse the place. We're not fishing out the ocean so much, and some of these cultures just rip it all out in the bottom of the ocean. And I mean, I like Asian people, but I just have no respect for them, the way they treat the world. It's just disgraceful. I don't know how they have this attitude of just populating, and just it turns me off having a family. They think they're just going to take over by just wrecking everything. It's just I don't know. I don't know why they think that way, but anyway. I don't think we've ever done that. Our race of people ever thought that way, that we should take over the environment and just populate to create density to wipe other ones out. I don't think we think that way. We're more inclusive and saying, come and just be sensible and nurture the earth and take care of it and be conservationists. It's not about money, the world. It's not about money. It's about fresh air to breathe. That's what it's about. If you don't have that, money's no good, is it? So anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm rattling on. I should be doing my homework. It's 20 minutes. I hope you enjoy my videos if you do watch them, anyone, but I'm not sure anyone even watches them, so